Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at another devlog for the next major update, and this time it is the Hawk 209. This is a premium strike aircraft which is going to be coming in for the Japanese tech tree at rank 7. The reason why is because this is an export modification of the British Hawk, and it's for the Indonesian Air Force, so Japan getting more reinforcements as everything goes on. This vehicle is looking pretty fun and also is a pre-order premium, so if you want to pick it up, make sure to use my code, which you'll find in the pinned comment or the description of this video, and you'll get yourself a discount on the purchase and also support the channel. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Let's get into the history, the pack, and also the gameplay of this vehicle. So with the Hawk 209 pack, you get a rank 7 premium, which will be able to grind all of the tech tree pretty effectively. And then also you get a premium account for 20 days, 2,500 golden eagles, and the pre-order bonus of the unique title Wings of the Motherland, which is quite nice. You also get the unique emblem of the 12th Squadron, the Black Panther, the Indonesian Air Force decal, and the unique experimental marine camouflage. So pretty standard pre-orders. I feel like when it comes to the premium account and also golden eagles, it's a little bit less than usual, but maybe that's because the rank is a little bit less. I'm not sure. Seems a little bit odd to me. But overall, you're getting a vehicle with quite a lot of weaponry and also quite a lot of extra pre-order bits. The Hawk was a development of British Aerospace intended as a replacement for the Gnat trainer, as the more complex Jaguar proved unsuitable for cadet training. The high reliability and adaptability of the Hawk platform quickly made it an appealing aircraft for export, not only as a trainer, but also as a light multi-role fighter as well. One of the key export versions was the Hawk 200 series, which first flew in 1986. Unlike the trainer variants, this was a light, single-seat strike fighter with an enlarged nose to accommodate a radar. In June 1993, Indonesia signed a contract for a supply of Hawk aircraft, including 8 two-seat Hawk 109 combat trainers and 16 single-seat Hawk 209 multi-role fighter models, with the option to request an additional 16 Hawks of the latest model. This option was fully exercised, and by 1998, the Indonesian Air Force had received all 40 Hawks. These versatile aircraft significantly enhanced the potential of the Air Force, filling every role required, from light fighter bomber duties to more precise tactical operations. So this Hawk 209 is looking like quite a capable strike aircraft. I'm not really sure how useful it's going to be in terms of its air-to-air capabilities. It still is a Hawk platform, and usually with these types of vehicles, they have a pretty decent armament which drags them way up in BR and makes them quite tough to play. As somebody who's spaded a lot of these types of things, like the A10s, even the SU-25s, and even the AMX, and many of these other types of vehicles, the worst one I feel like was the AlphaJet TH, the one with the AIM-9 P4s. That's the one that really did not help matters quite a lot in favor of these types of aircraft. I've struggled with them because you just kind of get jumped on with aircraft with way better flight capabilities than you, and you're relying on missiles, which usually most people can get away from, because the whole point of the general vehicles is to be able to counter them. So it kind of sucks in a way. But this vehicle has access to some interesting armaments, which will probably make it very useful in ground, but not so much useful in air. It has access to a 30mm cannon pod instead of any internal cannons on the vehicle. This will increase drag on the vehicle, but still give it a decent amount of firepower. It also has access to a bunch of dumb bombs, which you won't use, and also unguided rockets, which you also won't use on the platform, but they do exist. The major weapons that people will use on this thing, you have the AGM-65G Maverick, the air-to-ground missiles, which you can bring along. These are obviously incredibly good in ground, and if the vehicle is low enough, which it might be if it only gets access to 2 of them, this means that it could easily be at a BR where it cannot be countered easily. There is already a vehicle in the game which kind of does this really well, and you may have faced quite a lot in ground, and that is the squadron vehicle Hunter F58. This vehicle is 9.7 in the ground game mode and has access to Mavericks. These Mavericks, the FLZ LWF LB82s as they're known in the the Swiss Air Force, these are extremely good at the 97BR because you can get them off before you get shot by anything else. And if the Hawk is in a similar position with its armament, then I think generally it will do really well. The problem, though, is it's probably going to be a little bit higher, which will kind of hurt its chances of being that useful. For example, the Hawk 200, which is in a similar situation to it, but actually has more of a better armament with 4 AIM-9Ls and then also 4 Mavericks, that vehicle is at 10.7, whereas the Hawk 200 RDA, which is 11.0 in ground, also is very high with its armament. So my guess is this vehicle will be around 10.0 or 10.3 in ground, since it has half of the usable ground striking armament, but sometimes when it comes to gaijin, they decide that the vehicle is going to be a lot kind of higher in BR than it should be because of this. So the real interesting thing for me about this vehicle is it able to carry more than what we see, because the internal pylons themselves seem to only be used for fuel tanks. The vehicle can also, at least in the pictures, when it comes to the premium, it can carry the big anti-ship missiles, the Sea Eagles, that the British use, but we haven't really found anything that has been able to use that quite effectively yet in the game, and you don't really get enough score from destroying stuff in aerialistic like the destroyers or even the carriers. You don't really get a lot from it, so it's kind of rough to be able to set up. One of the things I would like to see is whether you can actually have more than 2 air-to-air missiles on this thing, or if you can have more than 2 ground missiles. That will be a deciding factor. Since this vehicle is very much dependent on its armament, you need to kind of know how much armament it's going to have. And remember, if you want the pre-order bonuses of a vehicle like this, you can just wait until the day before the update and then purchase it. You still get the same bonuses and everything, because if you have a look at the description on the pre-order page, it says that this vehicle gets several AIM-9P4 Sidewinder short-range missiles. Well, is that 2? Is that 4? Is that 6? Who knows at the end of the day? And that is the problem. With Mavericks, it says it only gets 2. So it does actually specify that 2 is the majority. And or the maximum, sorry. So it's probably going to be around 10.3 or 10.0 in ground, and then in air, depending on how many missiles it gets, it could go up to 10.7. And if it goes up there, it's not going to be very useful. The standard problem with these aircraft, as I said, is if they went up against the full variety of vehicles that exist at these BRs, it would actually be a pretty interesting vehicle to play, because you'd have pretty interesting matchups. As somebody who's been playing around those BRs quite a lot recently, you don't get to go up against everything, though. You go up against the meta vehicles, and just remember, around these BRs, the F5 exists, which is just you, but better in every single way. And the simple fact is, you go up against a bunch of the premiums, which have a lot of missiles, they have a lot of countermeasures, and they have better mobility than you. So you're just kind of sat there wondering what to do. So you have to make your kind of multi-role setup work, but it's not exactly easy to do. So that is going to be a bit of a problem. In terms of the Japanese tech tree at these ranks, though, they have just removed one of the only vehicles that you can purchase at rank 7, the F4EJ ADTW. So obviously they've done that to be able to get people to buy this thing. They also removed the Matador, which was at rank 6 as well. So your options are either to purchase this or to get the F2A ADTW. And that's it. So if you want to quickly research through the tech tree, then this is your option. And that kind of sucks. I wish there was more options. But also, the Japanese tech tree is really fun. So you should just kind of play through the tech tree and have a good time with it. Hopefully, we get another Hawk in the standard tech tree too. A lot of the time, what they do with these types of vehicles is they put them as premiums and then bring in a version of it later on that is a standard tech tree one. And I look forward to that one to see if it is better than the Alpha Jet TH in generally playing. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. We'll see as it goes along. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.